is the bike I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah. It's a real nice motorcycle.
Mom, it's not just nice. This bike is awesome.
Awesome, huh?
See, that's right, Mom. This bike is awesome. You got to pick up on the latest lingo.
Okay, so I'm not up on the latest cycle jargon.
All you have to remember is anything over 1,100 cc's is going to be awesome.
Okay, I'll keep that distinction in mind. By the way, thanks for taking him to the showroom the other day. He hasn't stopped talking about that.
Oh, no, it was nothing. That's why I came by here. I wanted to thank you, actually.
For what?
Well, it's not very often that your next-door neighbor shows up for you at a police scam. Why'd you do that, anyway?
Look, John, all I'm saying is in contests like this, with the stakes so high, you know and I know that information could be bought.
Here it is, Sergeant.
Well, speaking of contests, here's our first contestant. Go ahead, take the cuffs off him.
I didn't know you was in the game show. Oh.
That's right, Mr. Lancelot.
Well, what's this one? Truth or consequences?
I was thinking more along the lines of, let's make a deal.
Another one bites the dust.
You lose that contract?
No, on the contrary. I just made a contract to tear down an old warehouse.
Oh.
Another one bites the dust.
Oh.
So what's with you, Mr. Excitement? You've been in the ozone ever since you got in here.
Well, it's, Mom, of course. And Courtney.
You mean Mrs. Vaughn Sumner, don't you?
That's what it says on the marriage certificate.
Isn't that enough?
They said the vows, and they signed a piece of paper saying they're married. And I know people think they're married, but
But what?
the marriage isn't consummated.
Peter, just because the guy can't perform sexually doesn't mean that she's not Mrs. Vaughn Sumner. You have no business messing around with a married woman.
Oh, it sounds kind of strange coming from you.
Oh, so now we're gonna dig up my sordid past again, right?
No.
Listen, I only have one person in mind for me, and that's Stacy. My days as a playboy are over. Besides, why don't you start using me as a role model?
I haven't. It's just that they seem like they're dating. It's not even like they're married.
Now, wait a minute. Dating is when she wraps some tape around your class ring to make it fit, and you have to ask her dad what time she comes home. Not when you change your name legally. I think you should drop it.
I tried dropping it.
And what happened?
Well, I just saw her about an hour ago, and she acts like she still wants. I don't know. She seems available.
That is a tough one. On the one hand, they've tied the knot, and on the other, if this guy can't perform, he's not going to make much of a husband for her, is he?
That's why legally they can get this thing annulled.
Well, if she gets it annulled, that's one thing. If not, I think you just should forget it.
Even after you've heard all the facts.
Even after hearing all the facts. I know. Your head says one thing and your gut says another.
What about emotions?
They usually speak the loudest, but they're the ones that you shouldn't trust. Yeah, come in.
Anybody home?
Hey.
Peter, didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I'm just leaving, so I don't want to ruin any of your meetings.
Oh, you're not ruining anything. I just stopped by to deliver something to Gil.
What?
Oh, it's a letter you sent to Stacy. She asked me to return it to you.
Well, let's just say that the reason I went to the King's Arms the other night for you was because I was concerned.
Concerned about my well-being.
Sure. What else?
Oh, I don't know. I guess that's better than being just a good neighbor.
Well, I was a good neighbor.
No, I know, you are. I meant something else.
Like what?
Well, like you were concerned because you wanted to be a good friend as well.
I think I'm beginning to.
I think so. I think we're clarifying the relationship a little bit, don't you?
Oh, I got that. Now you're calling it a relationship.
Well, yeah, I don't think we have to analyze it.
Okay, now you're the one being analytical here. You're asking me, first of all, why I was going here and there, and then what about us? Are we just neighbors? Are we friends? Good friends?
Now, this isn't very much fun now, is it?
Yeah. Sometimes you and your brother are so different, yet you're so alike.
Well, pretty soon you're going to have him completely out of your memory.
Yeah?
You will. I promise. I mean, we're making a lot of progress right now.
How do you mean that?
Well, because earlier we were talking about concern, and I think now we've started talking about relationship.
That was your term, remember? Not mine.
When's it going to be our turn?
So how's the stuff at the museum? You told me about the Constantine icon and all of that. Is that genuine?
Oh, I don't know. You see, they used to paint the two-dimensional back then, and I think this one figure, the eye, was in the three-dimensional.
Yeah, how can you tell that?
Well, because the three-dimensional on the eyes, they're much more beautiful. They're much more compelling. Like yours.
I'm sorry. I
I'm sorry.
can't. I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have done that.
No, it's not your fault. It's me. I'm not ready.
I'm sorry. You told me not to do that until you were ready, and I pushed you. I apologize.
It's okay. I'm glad you did. I am.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I need more time, you know? Because the way you look, I mean, your brother, he keeps coming up. Even though I'm with you a lot, still, the memory of your brother keeps coming up. And I can't help that. He just keeps...
But when you look at me, do you see Lance?
No. Not at all.
You know something, Lance? I had a bagman try to play dumb with me about his numbers game down on 42nd Street.
Oh, yeah? Really? Did you pull that same Clint Eastwood act on him that you're trying to do?
I
to me,
don't
big man?
like you. You know that?
I don't like you either.
Okay, so that's something we agree on. Now, why don't you tell me where the Bible is, and we'll have two things we can agree on, huh, bud?
Look at my eyes. What do you see? You see somebody who reads a Bible? Huh?
This isn't dealing with you right now, Lance.
Look, Princess and I have other things in mind.
So you admit you dealt with her?
I talked to a lot of people.
Who do you think we are, the Mayberry Police Force, bonzo? We know you contacted her. That's why we had that trap set up for you.
That trap? Well, that trap was bad, wasn't it, Brubaker? No boo. I went in and out. What is this? Come on.
Look, I want to deal with you. I want that Bible, but I'll tell you something else I want. I want the princess, and I want her friends, you understand me?
I thought you were interested in me.
Listen, slimeball. I don't care what happens to you. You can go in a cave and fester for 1,000 years. Doesn't make any difference to me. But I'm stuck with it, see? I got a bunch of bureaucrats in the State Department telling me my hands are tied because of some stinking political situation in the princess's country. So the only way I'm gonna get her out of my hair and get her out of the country is you.
Hey, listen. If I was you, I wouldn't get so worked up over all this, you know? I've had to work with sleazier guys than you. They've had to work with me.
Get him out of here! Get him out!
Wait a sec, cool it. Hold on. We'll talk. We'll talk. Wait a sec. We'll talk. You want to talk? I'll talk to you. All right. You serious?
Okay, pal, I'm gonna lay it out for you. We're gonna let you go. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna get the Bible. Then you're gonna contact the princess, and you're gonna make an exchange with her at Leon's Diner. The princess and her friends are gonna come there. We're gonna roll the cameras for the boys in Washington. We're gonna nail the princess, and we're gonna get the Bible back. You understand?
Yeah. Except you forgot something.
What?
What's in it for me?
Oh, what's in it for you?
Yeah.
You get your sentence reduced, dummy! You can have a parole in 7 to 10 years.
Hey, don't get tough with me. Don't play big man with me. 7 to 10 years, you gonna guarantee that?
You're an escaped con, Lance. You go back in the joint now, you don't see daylight ever. Unless you cooperate with us.
What makes you think I won't run?
Oh, come on, don't be silly. You'll be followed.
By who?
Guess.
All right, let me get this straight. You telling me I set this deal up with the princess in her court, and this judge is gonna give me a lighter sentence?
If you prove to be the key to get those undesirable aliens out of this country, it'll go a long way to impress the feds. It'll impress any judge, I guarantee it.
I'll see to it that you get a fair shake in the press, too.
Now, you're not stupid enough to turn this down, are you?
Oh, when do I leave?
I want you to go tell Stenovich to set up the tail and get this creep some wheels.
You heard the man.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Make up. Shake.
Get
I got you.
Oh, for a minute, I didn't think that guy was gonna buy the plea bargain.
No, he didn't go for any plea bargain.
Well, what are you talking about?
Look, he's a con. If he goes back to the joint now, he's finished. He's not coming out again, and he knows it.
Well, do you think he's gonna run?
Of course I do.
It's a good thing that you've got him tailed.
Oh, he's gonna lose that.
I think you're up to something, buddy. What's going on?
You bet I am. Take a look at him. The second that he thinks he's in control, you can do anything you want with him.
I get it. Lance thinks he loses the tell, right? He goes to the princess and tries to make a deal of his own.
You're absolutely right. Of course, now the car he's going to be traveling in is only going to have the most sophisticated tracking equipment right there in the rocker arm panels.
I certainly hope your instincts are right, buddy. Because if this thing fails, you could be in big trouble.
What happened? You found out something else about the Dar es Salaam Bible?
Well, we shall say that the plot is thickened.
Ooh, this is beginning to sound like a mystery story. Tell me, Sherlock, did the butler do it?
Well, I'll tell you something, Janice. We know who done it already. Brubaker's out trying to catch him.
Oh, you must mean that princess.
You know something? You're not as ugly as most hags, but I must say you're learning awfully fast how to ask the right questions with the best of them.
Well, I've always had an insatiable curiosity. And I remember this one professor told me that that was the secret to being a good reporter.
It is. It is. Why don't you grab a chair? Come
Sure.
over here, sit down. I've let you in on a little secret here. Brubaker has let Lance go. He's promised that he's going to make sure that Lance would get a lenient jail sentence if he leads him to the princess and to the Bible. What Lance is supposed to do is set up a deal with the princess and these thugs at Leon's Diner. Now, the whole thing is going to take place on videotape.
Brubaker doesn't really think Lance is going to go along with that, does he? I mean, Lance is going to run the minute he's out that door.
That's pretty good, Janice. You know, maybe you should have been a cop. Brubaker said the same thing.
Well, then why did he let him go?
Well, you see, they have a tracer in his car.
What's a tracer?
It's an electronic surveillance.
Wow. Who would have thought it? A young girl like me involved in all this James Bond stuff.
We really have to keep this down because we want to make sure that it's a secret. Brubaker suspects that probably someone in the police department is an informant. Now, we don't want any of this to get out to the public until Lance is back behind bars and we've got that princess out of this country.
Okay, well, you don't have to worry about me. I promise.
Good, good. Oh, by the way, What was, did you get any more information on the city councilman? What's his name?
Oh, Stigliano.
Stigliano. Good. Because he's going to be very crucial to this upcoming crime commissioner's report.
Yeah, I tried to call him today and they told me to call back. Look, why don't I try to call right now?
All right, good.
Okay.
And let me know what you find out, okay?
Oh, sure will. Yes, the presidential suite. Samir, is Felix there? Then call him. We have an emergency on our hands. Now look, I'm leaving for the hotel immediately. Be ready.
Hey, I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah.
Bye, Peter.
Doctor?
What's this all about?
It's hard to say.
This wouldn't happen to be what the good doctor ordered, would it?
If you think I coerced her into doing that, well, no, I didn't.
Maybe coerced is too strong a word. Maybe suggest would be better.
Gil, I think you and I have come to a better understanding of each other since we had that little talk a few days ago. You made me realize that, well, I'm not that shining star you should follow. I've made my mistakes.
So have I.
Well, granting that fact, maybe there has been some pain caused.
That's exactly why it's important that Stacy and I communicate.
But sometimes the best communication is no communication.
I don't buy that. I never have.
Well, you buy the fact that there's a healing taking place right now. Gil, you don't have to be a doctor to know that if a wound is healing, you don't tamper with it.
Did she say anything about when she'd be released?
Her doctor said that they might be letting her go in about 3 weeks.
Does that mean that you don't want me to see her?
I think you should do what, well, is best for everybody involved. My personal opinion is that you shouldn't visit her. But again, I'm not going to stop you.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate your opinion. But I'd like to think about it a little bit.
Sure. Well, I'd better be going.
Thanks.
You let Lance go?
Listen, don't worry about it. We got it covered.
Yeah, and everything's going as planned, right?
From our standpoint, it is. If you asked Lance, he'd probably say the same thing. But I'll tell you something, that worm's wiggled away from me one too many times. This time, I'm gonna nail him.
I detect a little bit of vengeance too,
Not
John?
like
huh?
yours, pal. I still got professional objectivity.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. If he gets away again, don't expect me to stop next time.
He's not gonna get away. I'm telling you, we're in the home stretch here. I just hope the captain upstairs gets wind of my little endeavor here because he's been blowing off steam about haphazard police practices.
He's never intimidated you before.
Yeah, but coupled with friends like you to keep ribbing me about Lance getting away again, you know. It's gonna be like savoring fine wine when this thing finally busts wide open.
So long as you get Terry Davidson back.
I will. I'm gonna get the Bible, the princess, and Terry in one final sting.
A fool! We are dealing with a fool!
What is the problem, Your Highness?
Lance has been double-crossed by the police. They plan to have Lance lure us to the restaurant while we will purchase the Bible for their hidden cameras to see.
Hidden cameras, what for?
He's stupid. I can't believe he is so stupid.
Our friend is not as stupid as he looks. He saw a chance to escape, and he took it. As to the cameras, they are obviously there to gather evidence for our deportation.
Maybe we should leave the country on our own while we can. It would do our cause no good for us to be deported.
And not accomplish what we set out to do? Never. I just wish this whole stupid matter were finished. But after all, I have fooled entire governments, have I not? And surely this one small-town policeman cannot beat me at my own game.
Princess is right, Samir. We cannot return without the Bible. Tell me, what have you learned about this Paula?
She has not shown up since the night of that police setup at that bar.
Well, have you looked for her?
Yes, Your Highness, she has disappeared.
This Brubaker is such a petty menace.
Ah, yes, but clever. We should not continue to underestimate him.
This whole town is full of stupid drones just like him who are frustrated with their meager existences. And yet they would frustrate the efforts of those of us who can change the world.
Adolf Hitler first said that, Your Highness, in a book called Mein Kampf.
Hello.
Yeah, Mohammed, let me talk to the princess, right?
Your Highness, it's Lance. He wishes to speak to you.
You fool! You are being watched.
Now listen, honey, aren't you even gonna say hello to me?
Look, I have no time for your childish pranks.
Well, you got time to make a meeting, don't you? I think I got something of yours that you might like to have.
Yes, and Brubaker's men are tailing you.
Oh, forget about that. I lost them all.
Oh, don't be so arrogant. That is exactly what they want you to think.
How do you know all this?
Let's just say I have my ways, okay?
Well, let's just say your ways are wrong.
Oh, and are they now? And are you also aware that your car has been wired with electronic surveillance? And that Sergeant Brubaker knows exactly where you are?
Well, what are you talking about?
Don't you think that you lost that police car a little too easily?
No, I don't. I took a couple of sharp turns and I lost him. It's that simple.
But do you really think that Sergeant Brubaker would let you out on the street that quickly?
Yes, I do. I'm the only one that could lead him to you.
Oh, exactly. He's using you.
Listen, honey, for your information, I don't have time to listen to
Look,
this.
has
Either
any of my information been wrong up to this point?
you either want to make a deal or you don't want to make a deal.
And have you lead me into a photographic session? Ha! No, I think not.
Now, I don't know where you got this thing about the bug in the car and all that, but all that can be taken care of. The point is, I got a Bible. You either want it or you don't want it. If you don't want it, I'll throw it in the bay. Is that clear?
Listen, your threats do not intimidate me, Mr. Lancelot. Your Bible is your only chance for survival.
Okay, let me make it real easy for you, all right? I'll pick the place, you bring the jewels.
All right, and that better be all that you do.
Well, don't worry about it. Now, you give me a couple hours, I'll be back with you. Got it?
Gentlemen, I think our luck is just about to change.